Production funding for Flying Squirrels Insider is made possible in part by
Secure Testing Services, providing 24-hour on-site drug and alcohol testing for businesses.
and by
Clean water is one of our most valuable resources. Conserving it should be all of our responsibility. Remember every day to make every drop count. Wash full loads, take shorter showers, turn off your faucet. Water, use it wisely. Let's commit to conserve.
Hello and welcome to the 4th episode of the 8th season of Flying Squirrels Insider. I'm Trey Wilson, he's Jake Eisenberg, and today taking a look around more of what's been going on with the Richmond Flying Squirrels here throughout this 10th season in 2019. Today, Utility Buddy from City of Richmond Department of Public Utilities shares information about Richmond's natural gas safety program. If you cook with natural gas, then you live near a natural gas pipeline. If you expose or cause damage to a pipeline, no matter how minor it might be, call 646-7000. Text to win free Flying Squirrel stuff. Text FSI to 63975. Message and data rates may apply. Mobile services provided by Opt-in Technologies. Well, Jake, the Flying Squirrels are in the middle of a stretch where, frankly, they're not playing a lot of games at home, but they've been playing a little bit better as we start to approach the end of this first half.
Yeah, rounded out that last road trip against the Akron Rubber Ducks with a series split. At one point had won 5 of the last 8 games. The Flying Squirrels are starting to get into a little bit of rhythm as we hit the tail end of this first half of the season.
As it stands right now, the Harrisburg Senators are running away with the division. This is the first season that the Eastern League has played a split season, so the records will reset coming up in about 2.5 weeks. As it stands right now, Harrisburg sits 6.5 games up in the division. The Flying Squirrels are in last place, but again, getting some positive momentum going right now, and then the records will reset after the game on June 18th.
That's right. There's a completely blank slate once the second half of the season begins on June 19th. That's the first day of the second half. First half ends June 18th. Harrisburg Senators have been running away with it since the beginning. They started 15-2. It's a franchise record for them, and it's going to be tough for anyone to catch them. They're still up 6.5 games, and we're now through 2 months of the season.
The first half champion and the second half champion are how the two playoff teams will be decided for the Western Division here in this 2019 season. While the wins haven't been coming as frequently as some might like to see, we have seen some great individual performances of late, and that starts with Chris Shaw, who's back with the Flying Squirrels this season. Since May 10th, Chris Shaw is leading the team in batting average, RBIs, on base percentage, hits, doubles, walks, extra base hits, runs. He's been on fire.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty much what you've come to expect from a guy like Chris Shaw, who entered this season at the AA level as a bit of a surprise considering he played at the Major League level last season. But Chris Shaw's been a leader for this Flying Squirrels team all throughout this first half of the season, and now his performance is starting to show just that. He's been hitting in new positions, leadoff, second, when he's been hitting more third and fourth in his career prior, and he's really starting to shine here at the AA level once again.
We saw a player come back who was with the Flying Squirrels for the first few games of this 2019 season. He went to San Jose for a little while, spent one day in AAA with Sacramento, then flew back across the country to meet us in Maryland on a road trip a few weeks ago. And since then, he's been hot. That's Gio Brusa.
Yeah, since he's come back to play with the Flying Squirrels, he's batting .333. That's since May 13th when he joined the team up in Maryland. But what's most impressive to me about Gio Brusa, he's done it all while playing a new position. He's a converted outfielder. He's been playing mostly first base this season, hasn't seen any action in the outfield for the Flying Squirrels, and every time he seems to be in the lineup, when he gets a start, he seems to produce something positive.
Another player who's been making a positive offensive contribution of late, and defensive as well, of course. But earlier in the season, we were talking about Jalen Miller and the home runs. The home runs have tapered off a bit, but now he's racking up stolen bases, and he's up near the top of the league.
He's already set a career high in steals. He's got 12 of them this season. That's good for second in the league. And he's also leading the Giants organization in stolen bases. That's something that's been a focus for him this season.
Not far behind him, staying on that same theme, Janesri Fargas has been picking up some steam offensively, getting on base with more hits. And when he's on base, it's quite often that we're going to see him try to turn a single into a double.
It seems like as soon as he gets to first base, he's off and running towards second. And he's got the Eastern League lead in stolen bases over the last month or so. And now he's at the top of the Eastern League in steals in that top 5. Same goes for the Giants system. He's just an exciting player to watch.
Since May 7th, Janesri Fargas has 8 stolen bases. That's the most in the Eastern League. So about a month span, he's been swiping more bases than anybody else. So a couple of good speedsters on the bases to help try to create some runs for the Flying Squirrels offense. We shift now to talk about how the pitching staff has been doing of late, and that has been a positive area for this team. The pitching staff has a 2.41 ERA over the last 8 games heading into this taping today, and that starts with some strong starts I got this. Starts with some strong starts of late, and we look at Caleb Berriger, who is a newer addition to the team, and he's been great since joining the rotation.
Yeah, a little bit of a tongue twister, but the Flying Squirrels, they were caught in a little bit of a rut. There were a bunch of kind of random injuries, some inconsistencies with the starting rotation, but now once it's gone through a couple of times, and we've seen Caleb Berriger, Brandon Lawson, Connor Menez really go through the rotation and give the Flying Squirrels some consistent outings.
Yeah, Brandon Lawson's a newer member of the organization who was signed as a free agent earlier this season, but he's had to put together a couple of great outings in a row now.
Yeah, most recently his best one. He retired the first 11 batters of the ballgame against the Binghamton Rumble Ponies just a couple of days ago. Ended up throwing 5 scoreless innings, and we've now seen him go through 5 innings in 3 of his last 4 starts.
And at the top of that rotation, I think it's pretty well established right now that we know who the ace of this staff is, at least through the first half of the season, and that's been Connor Menez, who was with the team for a little while last year, back this year, and he's been one of the best pitchers in really all of minor league baseball.
Yeah, he's been one of the best pitchers in the Giants organization for sure. Ranks at the top of the Giants organization in strikeouts, in ERA, in WHIP, you name it, he's up there in the leaderboards, not just in the organization, but also in the Eastern League. And he's a year older now, celebrated his 24th birthday earlier this week.
From the starting rotation, we go to the bullpen, where the Flying Squirrels relievers posted a 1.40 ERA over a 10-game stretch heading into this week. They've been picking things up and helping to keep runs off the board late in games. We just talked about the ace of the starting staff. I think the anchor of the bullpen here of late has been Sam Wall.
Yeah, no doubt. He's got the lowest ERA of any Flying Squirrels reliever who's got more than 10 appearances, and he had a 12 1/3 scoreless streak. That's the longest by a Flying Squirrels pitcher this season.
In the bullpen, staying in the bullpen and picking up the heat a little bit, Rafi Vizcaino came to the Flying Squirrels not long ago. He's only been with the Flying Squirrels for a few weeks, but in the time that he's been here, he's made quite an impact.
He's made 7 appearances now for the Flying Squirrels, and all of them, they've been scoreless. 9 1/3 scoreless innings from Rafi Vizcaino. He's bumped the fastball up there, up above 95 miles an hour. The strikeout to walk ratio is off the charts, and he's been a really impressive addition.
And then in the back of the bullpen as well, we've seen one of the Giants' top prospects and one of the hardest throwers in all of minor league baseball, Melvin Adone. The fastball will get up to 102 miles per hour. He's a guy everybody's been talking about.
Yeah, he's a guy who also started his career as a starting pitcher, now working his way into being more of a reliever. Lee Smith is in town. He's one of the San Francisco Giants minor league pitching instructors and a Hall of Famer. He got goosebumps watching Melvin Adone in the bullpen the other day and said that Adone reminded him of himself when he was that age. So that's a pretty good comparison if you're going to get one.
Yeah, Lee Smith visiting. He works for the Giants as a roving instructor. He's going into the Hall of Fame this summer, so it's great to see him around. And he had some great comments and compliments to make about several of these Flying Squirrels relief pitchers. On the side of the big leaguers for the former Flying Squirrels, we've seen a couple of Major League debuts here of late of some former Flying Squirrels players. Sean Anderson made his Major League debut back on May 15th for the San Francisco Giants. Anderson was a member of the 2018 Richmond Flying Squirrels, one of the Giants' top prospects, and he got off to a good start. He allowed just 2 runs over each of his first 2 starts, and overall he's made 3 starts now for the Giants, 0-1 record with a 4.80 ERA. He's been great so far. And then another Flying Squirrels debut here in the last week or so, Sam Coonrod, who was with the Flying Squirrels in 2016 and 17. He made his Major League debut on May 16th against the Arizona Diamondbacks for the San Francisco Giants. He pitched a scoreless inning with a strikeout, came back out and pitched another inning in his second outing, allowed 1 run, but he's off to a good start with his Major League career. So exciting for the 2 most recent members of the Flying Squirrels to go on to the Major Leagues, Sean Anderson and Sam Coonrod. Congratulations to both of them, and great to see them having some early success to start their Major League careers. Well, as we continue on with this episode of Flying Squirrels Insider, Every Friday this season, the Flying Squirrels are celebrating the 2019 Copa de la Diversión program. They will transform to Las Ardillas Voladoras, and longtime Richmond Flying Squirrels player and current Richmond Flying Squirrels bullpen coach Eliezer Zambrano will help us take a look at some Spanish baseball terms.
I'm here with Nazi, and I will teach him some baseball terms in Spanish. So you guys can choose between ardillas voladoras or flying squirrels. Okay, Nazi, ball. That means in Spanish, bola. Fastball, we call in Spanish, bola rápida. Changeup, cambio. Curveball, curve, bola quebrada. Walk, caminar. Strike, in Spanish, we always say the same thing as in English, strike. So bunt, we call it just toque. Toque. Hit and run, bateo y corrido. Run down is corre, corre. Yeah. Pop up, elevado. Strikeout, ponche. Or you're out, tú estás fuera. We got it. A stolen base, very easy. In Spanish, we call it base robada. Safe. We call it safe in English. We call it in Spanish a salvo. Home run, okay? So we call him same thing in Spanish, home run, home run. Victory, victory is victoria. Got it? So now you're ready to cheer for Flying Squirrels or Ardillas Voladoras. Los invito todos los viernes a ver a las ardillas voladoras aquí en el Diamond.
As we continue on here on this episode of Flying Squirrels Insider, we take a look a little bit down the road, not that far down the road, only about a month away, for the All-Star Country Music Jam at Richmond Raceway, part of the Eastern League All-Star Week presented by Genworth. It's going to be a fun night. Big and Rich is headlining, Cowboy Troy, DJ Sinister, Mickey James, a fun lineup at Virginia Credit Union Live at Richmond Raceway. We welcome in the president of Richmond Raceway, Dennis Bickmeier. Dennis, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Well, it's my pleasure. We're going to talk a little music along with a lot of baseball, but really looking forward to July 8th and welcoming everybody as part of the Eastern League All-Star Week presented by Genworth. It's going to be a great week here for Richmond, Virginia.
You guys, Richmond Raceway, partnering with the Flying Squirrels to help us host this All-Star Week. Why did you guys want to be a part of what the Flying Squirrels are doing this year with the All-Star Week?
Well, we look at what you guys are doing. It's more than a baseball game. You've made this a community event, and it's 4 days. So I think we have an opportunity to add in everything that's great about Richmond. It's the music scene, it's the food scene, it's the craft beer scene. We can bring all those to our venue, our amphitheater over there, Virginia Credit Union Live at Richmond Raceway. But again, I think this puts what you guys do, what we do here in Richmond, the collaboration that we have with you guys, really kind of sets us apart from other people in the Eastern League and maybe what's happened at other All-Star games. And really glad to be the trendsetters with you guys and kind of the bar that everyone's going to chin to in future years.
Yeah, I've been to some of the Eastern League All-Star games, and teams have done a great job, but this year it's nothing like what we've seen in the past. So great lineup for the All-Star Country Music Jam, again, Monday, July 8th at Virginia Credit Union Live at Richmond Raceway. It's headlined by Big and Rich. How much excitement has there been over this lineup for the All-Star Country Music Jam?
Well, it's great. I mean, I think if you're college football fans, you know some of the Big and Rich songs. You know, We're Coming to Your City is kind of the anthem of college football on ESPN Saturdays. But just the high energy show that they bring is very fitting for who we are and who you guys are as well. And then they come with Cowboy Troy and DJ Sinister. They put on a great show. And then some local flavor as well. Mickey James and the Heaters. Mickey James, well known as a professional wrestler, a champion, but from Richmond, Virginia. And her band, they've played all around the area. They've got some new songs out. So just that lineup alone is going to be great. But then you add in all the other festivities. Red carpet arrivals. We have what we call the Commonwealth Mall outside of Virginia Credit Union Live. That's where the food and the beer and all that scene is going to be taking place. It's just going to be high energy from start to finish on Monday, July 8th.
And some new changes have been implemented over at Virginia Credit Union Live at Richmond Raceway, the venue that you guys have over there at the Raceway. You've done some work here recently. Yeah,
it's interesting. It's a cool venue. You know, it's it's been there a long time. Over 25 years, and we just did some renovations, as you said, you know, changed some of the seating in the front, built a new Bud Light patio just to the side of the stage, reshaped the amphitheater hill, you know, all to kind of create those social scenes within the venue. So we're excited to really showcase it to everybody as well. This is the first year where we have a full lineup, 15 shows. The All-Star Country Music Jam is a big part of that, but really just thrilled to be able to show it off to people, get some really high-quality music going back under that amphitheater. You know, we are the only covered amphitheater here in the region. Proud of that. But you know, you go way back, some of the names, you know, from Jimmy Buffett to Van Halen to Dave Matthews that performed there, Aerosmith, it goes on, and now we're ready to have a great summer in Virginia Credit Union Live as well.
Can't wait for the All-Star Country Music Jam on Monday, July 8th. It's at Virginia Credit Union Live at Richmond Raceway. Get your tickets now before they're gone, vaculive.com, or you can head to squirrelsbaseball.com/all-star. Headlined by Big and Rich, Cowboy Troy, DJ Sinister, Mickey James and the Heaters. A great lineup for the All-Star Country Music Jam. And again, that's Monday, July 8th at Virginia Credit Union Live at Richmond Raceway.
He's Brandon Van Horn. I'm Jake Eisenberg. We're going to step out of the box. So Brandon, give me your favorite food.
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
Yeah.
You ever been to the Cheesecake Factory?
I have been to the Cheesecake Factory.
That menu's pretty big, right?
Yeah.
How do you decide?
Classic.
Classic cheesecake.
Just
Gotta
keep it
keep it
plain.
classic.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show?
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah?
Oh, hands down.
Favorite character?
Tim Regan.
Yeah, gotta be, right?
Texas forever.
Yeah, clear eyes, full heart, can't lose.
Yeah.
Went to the Masters College, played with Connor Menez. Now you're both here for the Flying Squirrels. What's that like?
Awesome. I mean, Connor's been the same competitor since college that he is now, and it's no surprise he's having all the success that he is.
He's got a long beard. You've got a little goatee.
Yeah.
Are you trying to maybe catch up to him?
Nah, that's all him. I don't have that much testosterone in me to produce a beard like that, but he's rolling with it. Yeah.
Know you're a big Game of Thrones fan.
Yeah.
Series finale coming up. Who's sitting on the Iron Throne?
Not one person, but two. I got
two people.
Tyrion and Sansa, and Wolf's coming back because he's such a good boy.
Yeah, he is a good boy. You should have pet him, right?
Yeah, or Ghost, what I call him, Wolf.
Yeah, he is kind of a wolf though.
Yeah.
I've seen you in the clubhouse. Everyone seems to gravitate towards you. You're a real fun guy.
I appreciate that.
Pulling some pranks on anyone?
Sometimes I try. My guy Stassi, he's not here anymore.
Yeah.
He's kind of rolled with it. But we'll see what happens with the new guys coming in.
Yeah.
Try to keep them on their toes.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta have them find the bucket of curveballs or the keys to the batter's box.
Or something like that.
Yeah. All right. What's your go-to dance move?
Oh man, who's asking?
Me.
I don't know. Probably some type of booty popping.
Yeah?
But
You want to show me?
we'll keep that one in the clubhouse. That
Yeah,
one's after
well-
wins. Keep it in the clubhouse.
After wins?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
Brandon Van Horn. I'm Jake Eisenberg. We've gone out of the box.
We set the tone for being different by having the courage to name the team the Flying Squirrels. I think it was 6,000 names suggested by the Richmond Times-Dispatch. And then some of the suggested names were like Generals, Confederates, River, fill in the blank. We all convened to my apartment in Shockoe Bottom, and we whittled down all those names to the final 6. And the way we did it, we made people stand up in front of the whole group and say, with the first pick of the name the team draft, I choose, and then it would go around to the next person, and we had a lot of fun with it. I mean, the night beforehand, I was scared to death. Chucky and I were having dinner down at Lulu's in Shockoe Bottom, and he's just cutting his steak and eating it like it's no big deal. And I'm like, dude, don't you understand what we're about ready to do tomorrow? And he looked at me and said, well, do you believe in it or not? And I just kind of looked at him, and he said, you're the one that's going to be getting all the questions in front of the TV cameras and the radio station. If you don't believe in it, people are going to see right through that.
The new name for your team is the Richmond Flying Squirrels.
And I said, I think we're doing the right thing. I think this name's going to be something that kids can connect to, and people 2, 22, 42, 62, 82 will be able to connect to. But here's what I love the most. People that complained about us naming the Flying Squirrels, immediately in the first season, somebody would come up to me and be like, I'm not sure you remember me, but I got on you and told you I was never coming to a game. You see my little grandson over there? This is our 13th game we've been to, and he loves the Flying Squirrels. You hear somebody say, I don't know who those guys are that are naming the baseball team the Flying Squirrels, but I wish they'd go back to wherever they came from. Take that and then turn it into where we're such an integral fabric in this community, not even 10 years later. That is a legacy.
Welcome to FSI Field. Time to learn a little something about the game of baseball. We've got Flying Squirrels second baseman Jalen Miller with us here in studio. He's going to teach us how to steal a base. He's got 12 of them this season. Jalen, that's already a career high for you. What's been the emphasis in stealing more bases this year?
One thing that's been an emphasis is just being aggressive. You know, the past few years, I've been kind of laid back on the bases. With my speed this year, I just know I can score more runs, steal more bags, and I even run in my batting gloves, just run.
Yeah, it's an exciting part of the game, and you're going to show us how it's done. So why don't we get set up kind of how you'd normally get started at first base, getting ready to steal second.
Yeah, so the first thing I do, take off all my equipment that I had on before. I got my first base coach. He tells me how quick the pitcher is to the plate. Usually if it's around a 1.4, 1.5, that's automatic green light to go.
So that's 1.4 seconds, 1.5 seconds to home plate. You know what? Why don't we get a pitcher out here? Trey, you might come to be our pitcher.
I'm pretty slow to the plate.
Let's call to the bullpen. Okay, so Trey's going to be our pitcher.
All right.
You're watching the pitcher's back foot when you're on first base. That's the first thing you're looking for?
Yes, it is. Usually pitchers, if this back heel comes up, that means he's about to come over the first base, which means I have to get back. And I take about 3 or 4 steps out, and I'm just watching him the whole time. And as soon as I see his left foot go up, you know, I put my head down and just start digging. That's running, basically.
Yeah, as soon as he starts going toward home plate, you're off and going.
Yeah, I'm off and going. And I prefer to head first slide instead of feet first. I feel like I don't lose momentum, and if the ball's there before I get there, I feel like I have a better chance of basically avoiding the tag.
You can kind of swim around it?
Yeah.
Do like a fancy slide sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the next layer of this? How do you know how far of a leap to take? How do you know, you talked about how the first base coach is going to tell you how fast the pitcher's working. There's a lot of different kind of intricate stuff that goes into stealing other than just being as fast as you are.
Yeah, definitely. Some guys have better moves than others, meaning they're quicker over to first base when they try to pick you off. Sometimes that can have something to do with how far you want to get off, but I try to get the same lead every single time. It's just a consistency thing with me. But sometimes if a guy's 1-1 to the plate, so 1.1 seconds to the plate, I try to keep it a little bit close and get a one-way lead, which means I'm just automatically going back to first base.
With the first base coach, he's telling you that pitcher speed to home plate. Is he also telling you kind of go, go, go when the pitcher starts to make his pitch to the plate?
No, that's all on me. You know, you do it enough times, it's kind of like second nature when to go. It's just one of those things where you just got to do it, and you just go from there and hope you're safe.
All right, so let's see it in action. Let's have Trey set up on the mound. I'll back up a little bit. We'll get you set in the base path, and let's see you off and running. So Trey's gonna come set. You've got your lead. Then you kind of go into your secondary. Oh, he stepped off. He almost got you. Yeah. He's got a quick move over there on the mound. You got to keep yourself on your toes. Okay, so now he's coming set again. He's off the plate. You're off and running to second base. You're in scoring position now for the Flying Squirrels, and it's a chance to score.
Yep.
That's how you steal a base. Jalen Miller, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
This has been fun.
That was awesome, guys. Thanks so much. That's going to wrap things up for this episode of Flying Squirrels Insider. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks to our entire crew. We will talk to you again the next episode in a couple of weeks.
Production funding for Flying Squirrels Insider is made possible in part by
Secure Testing Services, providing 24-hour on-site drug and alcohol testing for businesses. And by
Smell gas? Act fast. Don't just stand there. Leave the area. Get out. Go where the smell is no longer present and call 911. Making you aware, keeping you safe. We're Richmond's Natural Gas Safety Awareness Program.